You are listening to the Conquering Everest podcast, episode number 4. Hello, welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Conquering Everest podcast. My name is Brian Taylor, and I am that faceless voice buzzing through your ears right now, hopefully in a good way. I'd hate to think that, I'm giving anybody night terrors or anything like that. Personally, I don't really care for the sound of my own voice, but I don't know, maybe that's maybe a lot of us are like that. When you see yourself on camera or you hear yourself on a recording, you're kind of like, what? I sound like that. But, it is what it is. God gave me this voice, and, I'm not, he didn't make me an impressionist, so it's not like I can be anybody else here on the mic, and nor would I want to be anybody else on the microphone. But seriously, thank you each and every one for tuning in. If you have not downloaded the Podbean app, I would encourage you to do so. This here podcast is hosted through Podbean, and if you download the application and listen through the app, you can actually leave me comments, questions, comments, whatever, and I'd love to interact with each and every one of you, so I would highly encourage you, if you haven't already, download the app, look up Conquering Everest, give it a listen, as you're doing already. I guess that's redundant. But leave me a comment. Just say hi, hello, tell me where you're from, how you found me, whatever. But I would like to engage. I am still working on some social media sites such as, Facebook, and in a way, an alternative way for everybody to reach out and communicate with me if you so choose to. So that'll be coming in the future. But, hey, when I started this podcast, it's been a long time coming, and I knew there was no better time to get started than that moment. And, that's something you got to think about in your life. You can wait and try to make everything perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Just start where you are. I don't know where I heard that for the first time in my life, but I heard that, and, it resonated. Just start where you are, with what you got, with what you know, and you can add on later. You can build, you can't build a house until you have a foundation, right? So just go ahead and get that foundation built, and you can start putting up them walls, but putting up walls in a good way. Today is there's a little bit somber day for me. I guess that'd be the word. A good friend of mine has passed away, and so that was some pretty heavy news to hear earlier or the later part of last week. This individual, we didn't hang out too much on the outside of work or Toastmasters International, but he was a quiet, gentle soul and had a lot of good feedback, and I consider him a friend and a mentor, and he's truly going to be missed. So that's, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate tonight's episode to my good friend Jordan. So I know you're up there. I know you're listening, and hopefully I serve you well, my friend. So I have been browsing through this little Trapper Keep. Well, no, it's not a Trapper Keep. I'm going back to like the late 80s, early 90s for school, right? It had to have that Trapper Keeper with your family ties, with the family ties. I bet you a lot of you listeners don't even remember Family Ties. Michael J. Keaton, or what was not Michael J. Keaton? Michael J. Fox played Alex Keaton or something. Anyways, it's not a Trapper Keeper. It's a 3-ring binder that I like to keep. Anything that I write, whether it be just, random thoughts, or if it's maybe it's a skeleton outline of a speech that I want to give, or maybe it is an actual outline with notes of a talk that I gave. But anyways, it's full of a lot of different things, and I came across here with COVID and everything that's going on. I came across this speech that talked about a little bit of the lessons that I learned as a boxer when I started training as a boxer, and with COVID, unfortunately, the boxing gym that I belong to. When I wrote this, it has closed. I had left for a period of time and hoped to get back into it soon, but unfortunately, it's a small business, and with everything that's going on with the pandemic, if there's not money coming in to support the small businesses, they're going to close. So maybe a little segue. Let me hop up on my soapbox. Definitely, while this is going on, definitely try to go out of your way and support the small businesses in your community. These are people like you and I. They don't, I don't have an unlimited supply of money that comes down from a corporate office. So, be intentional. Support the small businesses. Let's keep those small businesses going. But nonetheless, now I get back into what I was talking about. This was a speech that I guess I don't really have a title for it, but I was talking about what I learned training as a boxer, because there's really a lot of lessons a lot of discipline that goes into any sort of combat sports, boxing, mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, whatever the case may be. And I learned a great deal from the people that I trained with. What I really loved about that gym was everybody was there not only to grow for themselves, but they were there to support others, right? If you came in, you put in the work, and you supported others, then they were there to support you. And it was just my fight family, and I had a lot of good times. And it's a shame. Maybe down the road the gym will open up again, but nonetheless, I wanted to. I was looking at this, and I thought this would be a great topic for tonight, for episode 4. Truth be told, I'm not in a mode yet with this podcast that I'm not planning episodes out in advance, right? I'm kind of doing this on the fly right now. There may come a day where I'm actually taking time in the weeks or months ahead to plan out a topic list and create notes and all that. But then again, I kind of like doing it off the cuff because I don't want it to sound polished, right? That's not the intention. I'm not coming on here talking to you hoping to sound like some flawless guru that's, has been present, right? Has centered himself with Mother Earth and is now in the present moment, and the moon and the stars all align when he speaks. No, that's not me. I'm just a regular guy, an imperfect guy. So, you know what? I'm just going to go with the flow with this podcast. Maybe I might, I do want to have some interviews with some folks. I think I would not only like to talk to, but I think those of you listening would enjoy hearing. But, those I'll probably spend a little more time preparing than these, 15, 20-minute episodes. I'm a master procrastinator by just naturally, so it fits well to say, oh crap, I got to record tonight, what do I want to talk about? But anyways, so lessons, I want to talk a little bit about the lessons I learned in the gym. What I found when I first joined the gym, I joined with the intention of losing weight. That was my goal. But as I got going, some weight came off. I started feeling better. My muscles were growing. But it just it wasn't just about losing the weight and, gaining muscle or even just learning the art of combat. After a while, it taught me the art of living, right? Outside of the gym. Not only inside. There was lessons that I learned inside of the gym that I took outside of the gym. And it taught me a great deal. And it really did change the way that I live today. As I sit here and I look at my notes, this is from 2017, is when I wrote these points, these notes, and I look at them, and and man, they're speaking right back to me, right? It's like I wrote this I wrote this in 2017 because somehow, some way, my subconscious mind knew that I needed to read this again in 2020. I do believe that's how our lives happen. I believe we do things on a subliminal level, knowing that there's going to be a future need for whatever that is. And that's a conversation for another day. But I want to share with you these 4 points. So these are 4 lessons that I learned in the boxing ring that translated into life lessons. So lesson number 1 was master the fundamentals. I mean, that's what it's all about with anything, right? Mastering those fundamentals, learning the basics. So, in boxing, you need a balanced stance. You need your head on a swivel. You need to mind your surroundings and stay centered while remaining agile and immovable. You have to learn reaction. You got to learn your opponent's tendencies and patterns, right? When a punch is thrown, you've got to react. You've got to react in a positive, productive way, right? There's no crying in the boxing ring, right? So you get punched, you got to adjust. So you got to work on your reaction. And then when you throw a strike, you throw a strike with purpose. Some punches are going to be light. And these are what's going to set up that knockout punch, right? Little jabs consistently over and over with some time is going to wear down your opponent. So let's think about this as a life lesson, right? Because this isn't a boxing lesson here tonight. This is what boxing brought and how boxing changed my life. So mastering the fundamentals of life, right? You want to make money. Well, there's a fundamental way of making money, right? There's a certain time that you should get up every day. There's a certain time you should go to bed. There's self-care for your mind and body. There's, you figure out what you want to do. You want to go out and you want to cut grass for a living. Okay, so what are the fundamentals of cutting grass? Well, you need to learn how to operate a lawnmower, right? Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to know how to operate a weed eater or weed whacker. Or what, I don't know. What the hell are they called? I can't even think of it, but you know what I'm talking about. You've got to remain balanced and immovable, right? Business isn't always going to be great. There's going to be periods of time when you're going to make lots of money. There are going to be periods of time when you don't make any at all, right? Kind of hard to mow a lawn in the wintertime. So you got to remain balanced. You got to keep your head on a swivel, though, right? Look for new opportunities. If you're mowing grass in the summer, what are you going to do in the winter? Maybe you can, push snow around off people's driveways. With this podcast, I had to learn the fundamentals, right? How to hook up a microphone, how to upload, how to record using recording software, how to edit, how to upload it. But I've got to remain steady and balanced. I've got 4 episodes and I've got a few listeners. I think I had like 8 listeners or something like that. So it would have been great to upload my first episode and have 20,000 listeners, but that's not how it is. I've got to stay balanced. I got to keep my eye on the prize. I've got to learn the fundamentals, keep learning the fundamentals, and then use those little jabs, right? When we're talking about those striking with purpose, little jabs to set up for the big one, to set up for the knockout. What are those little jabs? Well, that could be anything from, well, really it's just about patience. You're just going to keep sticking your arm out there and peppering whatever opponent is in your way. You're going to keep peppering it until you open up for that big knockout. Maybe for me, I have an episode of a podcast. I pepper out a few episodes, and then maybe I have one that goes viral, and then boom, I go from 8 listeners to 200. Who knows? So master the fundamentals. Learn the basics that you need to learn to be successful in whatever it is that you're hoping to accomplish. The second point that I have written down here is preparation is key. You must train your body and mind alike. You need to study your opponent, right? In boxing world, You watch other boxers. You learn their tendencies. You take notes. You figure out what their weaknesses are so that you could take advantage of them, the weaknesses, when you meet them in the ring, right? So you become a student. You become a student of whatever craft it is that you're trying to, trying to build skill in. And maybe that's just the art of living. Maybe you're just trying to get better at getting out of bed in the morning. Well, preparation is going to be key, right? You're going to have to train your body, train your mind. Maybe you're your own opponent, and you've got to figure out what your tendencies are, figure out what your weaknesses are, and how you can turn those weaknesses into strengths. You've got to learn to take a hit, right? Life is nothing, or life will never be kittens and rainbows. I'll put it that way. You're going to take some hits in life. I've taken them. I take them a lot. You've got to learn to absorb that hit. That opponent, whoever that opponent is in front of you, they're gonna hit you. So you need to be healthy and strong in both your body and mind to take that hit and be able to deliver something back. Learn to take control of your emotions. Trust your instincts and your preparation, and believe in yourself. In the boxing ring, there's no room for worry or fear. You simply have to read and react. Well, life's that way too. You don't know what's going to happen when you get out of bed, right? You don't know what's going to happen when you get in your car to go to the store. But the preparation in the days, weeks, months, years leading up to it, it's getting you ready, right? You get in a wreck. Well, you probably need to call 911 or, the local police. Maybe be a good idea to call somebody that cares about you and let them know, hey, I've been in a wreck, but I'm okay, or whatever the case may be, right? It's all in preparation so you know what to do when you come face to face with whatever opponent you're coming face to face with. The third point I have in here is be coachable and listen to your corner, right? In boxing, you have a corner. It's usually your trainer, maybe a cut man. There's a few individuals that are there, and they're there to cheer you on, to give you advice, to help you. And so you need to be open to that in life, period. There are people, you can't close people out of your life that want to help you. You can, not everybody's going to have the right advice, but at least listen to the advice and then make a decision off of that. It's important to surround yourself with good people. Like I did with the gym. It was, a lot of good people that were there to help me get better, help me to meet my goals. So surround yourself with people that want to see you succeed. These are going to be the people that believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. Trust me, there was plenty of times when I sparred or I showed up to the gym and I just wasn't feeling it, or I didn't feel confident, and these individuals would be like, no, you're doing this. Like, you got this. And there's plenty of times in life I feel that way. And that's why it's important to have folks around me to bring me back up, to remind me what I'm fighting for, right? So surround yourself with good people. Find people that are going to push you beyond your limits, right? The limits that you self-impose in your mind. If I ask you to do some push-ups right now, how many push-ups could you do? What are you going to tell me? 10, 15, 20? Maybe you're ambitious and you say 50. Well, I bet you could do more than whatever number you tell me right now. If you told me I could probably do, I'm out of shape, I haven't been to the gym in a minute, so I could do 10 push-ups on my toes. Yeah, you can do 10 push-ups on your toes, and I bet you can do an 11th, and I bet you can do a 12th, and I bet you could even do a 13th if you really had the conviction and the desire to succeed. And that's where these people, these corner people, right, these coaches, that's where they're going to come into your life and they're going to push you to believe in yourself one more time, right? One more rep, one more whatever. So you got to listen to those people. They got the best seats in the house, and they're going to offer you the best advice. So find some good people. That could be church, it could be work, it could be the gym, whatever there's people everywhere that want to help you succeed. And then the fourth point that I have written down here is never give up. And I have a quote scribbled here. It will always be the darkest just before the dawn. And I love that quote. It will always be the darkest just before dawn. Life is like boxing. At times you're going to get so hard that it's going to knock you down. And you're not going to want to get up. But ultimately, to succeed, you have to get back to your feet. And you've got to keep pushing forward, right? Depression, anxiety, finances, divorce, work issues. I mean, but business, going out of business because of COVID. There's so many bad things that can happen to us out there. Those opponents out there, man. There's so many. They're ready to knock us out. But when we get knocked down, that's okay that you get knocked down. But you got to stand back up. You got to keep going. Even if you lose a fight, that's okay. You prepare yourself for the next one, right? You got to keep going. It's important to remember the pain that you go through, there's purpose in it. There's purpose to the pain that we suffer in our life. And I know sometimes that's hard to believe because sometimes I don't even believe that myself. That's why I said I think I wrote this for myself in 2017 to be read again here in 2020 because I do deal with depression. I deal with anxiety. And there are some nights that I sit alone on the couch at 2, 3 a.m. and I'm arguing with God. I'm like, why is this happening? Why does it have to happen? Why can't you heal me? Why won't you heal me? But there's a purpose to this pain. Without this pain, there's no way that I could help others, right? Others that are in the beginning steps of it. I've been there. I'm in the middle of it right now. I'm in the thick of it all. Well, my experiences, they offer me the option to help others. And so I know there's a purpose to it. You just got to remember that. So Muhammad Ali, I've got a quote from Muhammad Ali. For those of you that may not know Muhammad Ali, he was a boxer back in the 70s and 80s, maybe even the 60s. I don't know. I know the 70s, 80s for sure, but regardless, right? Muhammad Ali said, "The fight is won or lost far away from witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, and out there on the road. Long before I dance under those lights." I'm going to read that again because I don't feel like it came across right. "The fight is won or lost far away from witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, out there on the road, long before I dance under those lights." I think, or what he is saying there is he's won or lost a fight well before he steps in that ring, through his preparation, through his training, his mindset, right? He knows if he doesn't get that right, then when he steps in the ring, it's going to be a long night. But if he's prepared properly, he reminds himself of the lessons he's learned, of the things he needs to do. Well, then he's probably, he's going to find success. So here's my call to action to you, to myself. In everything you do in your life, take time to master those fundamentals. Prepare yourself, be coachable by surround yourself with good people, and most importantly, never give up. If you do that, I promise you that your hand will never be raised in victory, right? You've got to fight the fight. You can't give up. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep fighting. And if you do that, like I said, there's going to be some bumps along the way, but you're going to ultimately find success. And you're going to feel good. And you're going to feel accomplished. And you're going to feel loved. And so I would definitely just implore you guys to take those 4 steps. I know, like I said, it's a good reminder to me. And I've got to get myself back to a place where I've got good people in my corner now. But, I could use a few more, for sure. There's some fundamentals that I still need to learn. There's some, I need to I need to learn to be be coachable sometimes. Is there's times now where it's like, I'm going through something, an episode of my life, and I don't want to hear it, right? And then ultimately, about the fifth or sixth time somebody says the same thing to me, it rings in my mind. I'm like, oh, okay, it only took me 6 times to hear it to finally allow my mind to open up and be coachable with it. So anyways, that's all I've got for you tonight. I certainly, if you've made it this far, looks like I'm just over 25 minutes in. If you've made it this far, thank you. I do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I'm so thankful to have this platform where I could share my thoughts, my ideas, my stories, and I would love to hear from you. So once again, if you haven't, go download that Podbean app and find my podcast there. Click on the episode that you want to leave a comment on and leave me a comment, even if it's just to say hi. I'd love to say hello back. So until next time, stay tuned. Follow us, right? Follow the Concrete Everest podcast. That way you get notified when number 5 comes out, episode number 5. And in the meantime, share this with your social media friends and family. I would certainly appreciate it. I'd love to see these numbers grow, and just to know that that this podcast is helping somebody, right? If I can help one person, it's all worth it. So anyways, that's it. So I'll see you next time.